Greetings, friends. Jason here for AxodysFC. It's been a while since I've had a video, but finally had a game of interest to me yesterday. Here in the Spokane area, Spokane Zephyr had their second home game. They had a great opening inaugural game a couple weeks ago now, with let's see, who did they play to begin with? Tampa Bay, team from Florida, I think. There are two teams in Florida. Still learning the league. Anyway, unfortunately, so yeah, we tied that game. And then unfortunately, because of the way the initial part of the schedule was set up, they basically had 2 weeks off. So kind of great opening game and then no momentum. So I was curious to see how many fans they get for the game against Brooklyn, which was yesterday. And and actually, initially, I was pretty bummed out too, because the camera faces the east half of the stadium in one Spokane stadium, and that section doesn't hold as much. And depending on time of day and that kind of thing, you have the sun in your eyes, so it's definitely less popular to get seats there, I think. But you are right up close to the field regardless. And anyway, I was bummed out though, because that stand, which had been full in this first game, was really pretty empty, and they didn't have good shots of the west grandstand, where it's two levels, and more people tend to want to get seats because it's behind both teams, etc. You're closer to the players on the sideline and in the shade, etc. So no glare in your eyes. So it was unclear how full the stadium actually was, other than looking pretty empty on the far side. But I looked it up today, and attendance was like just over 2,000, I think, which is pretty decent actually. And promising to me, that hopefully we can keep building on that, because they are a fun team to watch, definitely. And I enjoy what I'm seeing so far. So yesterday, game started out pretty back and forth, I would say. The Brooklyn keeper was probably the standout player for them, to me. Martinez was her last name, and she was quite good. Really willing to come out of the box, in that sweeper keeper kind of approach, but good size and athleticism and that kind of thing. And our possession and build up for the Zephyr was good, and but we were still kind of ragged in terms of finishing moves, and that final pass kind of into the box was awry a few times early, and also we didn't really get Amina Ekic involved for quite a while in that first half, and it's pretty clear to me that she is like a key, probably maybe the key player in the front line, in terms of her ability to attack the box from the right wing, off the dribble, take on defenders and make them look bad. Really goes a long way to what Spokane is trying to do. And so anyway, it's no real surprise that once she did finally get the ball, and I think this was maybe at about the 20-25 minute mark, on the wing, with the chance to attack the defender and drive to the box. Sure enough, she was able to set up Taryn Reese, who got the start on the left wing. And I think it was Kinsey Weinert that got the start there last week, but she was moved into more of an inside midfielder role, attacking midfielder kind of role, I want to say. I don't think she was really in the 9 spot. But I don't remember who actually was for us. Anyway, Reese was playing left wing. And anyway, perfectly set up the shot for Taryn Reese, and she put it away on the back post. And so then Zephyr controlled things well throughout. And, it was back and forth. There were definitely chances for Brooklyn. They were dangerous at times, but it was not until quite late in the second half that they had a nice situation where they got the ball into the box. Izzy Nino, the Zephyr keeper, did a good job of stopping that initial chance at a goal, but it deflected into space. She was competing with the forward for it and basically fouled her, knocked her down in the box, set up a penalty, and of course they converted it and held on for the tie. So back-to-back ties, draws, I should say, maybe. Anyway, so frustrating after, showing so much good stuff, a lot of excellent midfield play, I would say, in terms of working together, getting it back and forth, switching, the field, and stringing together good sequences of attacking possession. But still not as dangerous as we need to be, I guess I would say. I would like to see a few more shots on goal than what we've seen, but definitely I've seen the quality in our forward line between Kinsey Weiner, super fast, Reese, obviously had a great finish, and Amina Ekic as well, and so I really like the pieces overall that I'm seeing from the Zephyr. And I look forward to seeing what we can do next time out. So, and that one's against Carolina Ascent, I believe. So, it'll be interesting to see what we can do. It is interesting, too. I was looking at ticket prices because, I am interested in going to a game or two in person. But so the other issue, too, is so are my 3 younger daughters. But the price of the tickets, essentially, even at the cheapest rate, I believe the initial price is $24, but then there's an additional $4 fee, which then on top of that, there'll be sales tax as well. So you're looking at $30 per person. If I took my wife and my 3 daughters plus my son, that's 6 of us, $180 for one match, which exceeds our general entertainment budget for that kind of thing. So it's tricky. And I was curious too, how that compared to the Velocity, which is the USL men's team Spokane has as well. And it is tickets are actually more expensive for the women by $1 or $2, which perhaps the justification is that it is considered tier 1 professional women's soccer, whereas our USL team is not quite that level. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like, well, and then so I was curious too. What do the cheapest Seattle Reign tickets cost? $15. I don't know what the ticket fee would be on that. That wasn't listed, but I assume it wouldn't be more than like $4 or $5. So anyway, the cheapest tickets that you for an NWSL game are cheaper, and so I find that a little frustrating that there are so many empty seats, probably because of the price point. I think people are interested, and but at the same time, like a $30 per ticket, yeah, I don't know. For a team that's just starting out, I think pricing could be a little bit more family friendly than it is. But yeah, so anyway, I'm curious to see how, attendance continues, and hopefully they'll, get a win or two coming up. The league seems to be super competitive, just in terms of there have only been, I haven't looked at the table, but essentially there have been a ton of draws and only a couple wins so far. And the other thing is, we haven't yet had a weekend, I don't think, where we've had 4 games in the league, between the 8 teams. It's always been 2 or 3, just because of the way the schedule has worked out. But yeah, anyway, looking forward to more of those games, and we can watch, all the games are on Peacock, which is cool. But I do want to be able to afford to go to in person and get to a few to support them actually in person. And it's just disappointing how expensive it actually is. So on that note, as always, thanks for tuning in. This is a little different than my usual Spurs content, but since we've been on the international break, I imagine I'll get back tomorrow with kind of a rundown of what's happened with all the players and how Kulusevski and Bergvall did with Sweden, etc. So anyway, as always, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy these. And remember, to dare is to do.